What's up, guys? In this video we're taking a look at this knife. This is a QSP Penguin Plus. This is a interesting knife that the QSP decided to do. I guess there were some people asking for a bigger penguin, so they came out with this, which is basically a scaled up QSP Penguin, which just to compare, here you go. See, it's scaled up, not that much. They did make it a little bit bigger. But that's something I'll talk about. They added a flipper tab, and they kept the thumb studs, although these are like larger thumb studs, a little bit bigger than the ones on the normal Penguin. This is, they upgraded it. This is the 20 CV steel, so they didn't make this a budget knife. They made it a more expensive knife, which is interesting. They put a wire pocket clip on here. They made it a titanium frame lock instead of a liner lock, like the QSP Penguin is normally, like the cheaper one in D2 and Micarta or G10. It comes in so many types of different variations, but this version is the larger one, and it comes with these. This particular one has this copper foil carbon fiber, which looks actually really nice. I actually really like the look of this copper foil carbon fiber. I think it looks good, like a topographic map kind of deal. I like the look of that, and you can tell it's a more premium QSP because it's got the triangle, pivot label there. Pivot. It's kind of interesting. It's got the QSP logo here, and actually, this reminds me of was it the thing from Harry Potter, the Deathly Hallows or whatever? I don't know. It just reminds me of that. Anyway, I know y'all are gonna call me a nerd. Anyway, this one has a flipper tab. It has the thumb studs. Thumb studs work fine. Just pretty snappy. Just, I'd say slightly snappier than a normal QSP Penguin, because it's of course it's running on bearings, not washers, like the QSP Penguin usually does. So it's going to be more drop shut, more snappy. It feels the detent is strong on this one. It's definitely stronger than it is on a normal Penguin in D2. So that's something to think about. And then the thumb stud, the flipper tab, works pretty well. Definitely snaps open with a good snap. I don't know, it's not super clicky with the flipper tab, but it's not bad. It's pretty satisfying too. The one thing I do say about this flipper tab is it's a weird shape. Kind of like juts out at your finger, and if you it kind of gets uncomfortable if you do it, flip it a bunch. All at once, because your finger lands on that tip there, and it's kind of like a low profile flipper tab. It's not very big, and so it can be a little bit pointy, and it's a little bit rounded too. Even though there's jimping on it, the jimping doesn't really grab your finger very easily, not like traditional jimping does. It's kind of a little bit rounded off there, but it does work. And I have missed the flipper tab before, but I've gotten used to this so well that I've just, you can flip it open and stuff. Fit and finish on this is excellent. It's perfectly centered, completely solid lockup, no blade play at all, and it's super smooth too. Like, I mean, that's pretty much drop shut. Just a tiny bit of encouragement and it drop shut here. Oh, you land on the flipper on the detent, or that's where the detent is. Lands on the detent, and then it's all in the face of the blade, and then it can drop shut. So. This is an interesting one. As soon as I had the QSP Penguin, I like larger knives, so as soon as I got the QSP Penguin in hand, which this is my QSP Penguin, as soon as I got one of these, I wanted one of these but bigger, because this is like a 3-inch blade, and my fingers are a little bit cramped in there, and so I wanted something that I could fit my whole hand on, and I was like, yeah, they should make a larger, like a QSP Penguin XL. Or whatever, a large QSP Penguin. And so they made this is the Penguin Plus. It is larger, but it's not like remarkably larger. Like, you can definitely tell it's bigger. It's got a longer blade, but it's still not, I don't even think it's quite 3.5 inches. Let's see. I know my Chavez is 3.5 inch blade. Yeah, you can even see here, it's still not even quite 3.5 inches. It's like just shy of 3.5 inches. At least that's what it feels like. So I feel like they could have done a bigger version than just this. Like, it's not super big on its own. Like, they made it bigger, but they could have made it even more larger, and I would have liked it. So now, of course, I'm going to want an XXL penguin, which would be really cool. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. So, anyway, I think it looks cool, though. And there's more presence in the handle height, so you definitely get more size this way on the handle. It fills the hand out better. But and the lock bar access is excellent on this one. You can see there, you get the lock bar, but it's a nice size, and it's definitely much more comfy than the Penguin usually is. There's more handle space, of course. It works better. This wire clip, it's kind of ugly, but it does work pretty well. That's kind of how I feel about that. The lock bar, this is a titanium frame lock. It's got a lock bar insert, which doubles as the over travel stop as well. You see there's a lock up on the blade. You see the detent in there as well. But yeah, it works pretty well. It's pretty smooth, consistent, pretty much drop shut. And the blade stock is just slightly thicker than this Penguin, it looks like. So, and as I was talking about, these thumb studs are like chunkier. You can see these are more pointed, and these are more like flat topped, and they're a little bit bigger, a little bit larger, which is kind of interesting. But they work all right. Sometimes if you get the wrong angle on the thumb studs, it'll be harder to open it, and you can lock bar pressure yourself. So if you put pressure on the lock bar, you can lock the blade shut, and it won't pop out, and it'll be harder to open. It'll make the detent really strong. So if you're pushing here, I can't flip it because I'm pushing pressure on this lock bar. So that's something you have to be careful about with this model, that you didn't have to worry about on a lot of the normal Penguins, because this one, a lot of these are liner locks. Of course, I do know they made the frame lock version of this as well, but a lot of these are, a lot of the normal Penguins are liner locks, so you didn't have to worry about that. But you just have to be careful to remember that this is a lock bar. Let's not put pressure on it. Let's see. It's got a traditional stop pin. Just simple standoff construction. It's a pretty simply put together knife. I like that they added a flipper tab. That made the Penguin better, in my opinion. I like flipper tabs. I'm more of a flipper tab guy. Let's do some size comparisons. Up against the ZT-0308. And the QSP, or the Spyderco PM2. Sorry, can't talk. Goodness. So you can see it's definitely smaller than those. It's even shorter than the PM2 as well. Get the back end lined up here. There you go. Let's compare it to the Benchmade Bug Out and the Banter, Wee Banter. Well, so you can see it's a little bit bigger than those, and we'll of course compare it to the normal Penguin, QSP Penguin there. So you can see it is definitely a larger knife, but even a PM2 is larger than this. You can see you've got quite a bit more length there. So it's a bigger knife, but it's not a big knife, if that makes sense. It's bigger than the normal Penguin is, 3-inch blade or whatever, but it's not a super large knife. They didn't make it that much bigger than the Penguin is. So anyway, last thing I'd like to do is, sorry about that guys, I had to get to my scale. Last thing, I'm going to take the weight on this. Oh, come on, please focus. There we go. This weighs 3.7 ounces. So it doesn't even weigh that much either, especially compared to the normal Penguin. How much does my normal Penguin weigh? This 3.4 ounces. So almost the same weight on both of these. So really not too far. You're getting more blade for almost the same weight. So it's not going to be super heavy in the pocket. It'll feel pretty nice. So overall, I'm happy with this knife. I think they did a good job by making a larger one with a flipper tab. Although I prefer that they made it even bigger than they did. Hearing that there was going to be a Penguin Plus, I thought it would be bigger. That's all. But yeah, I like it. It's a good knife. There's nothing super stunning about it or anything. It's just a good. See there, it flipped off. I slipped off the flipper tab there, and so that it does happen because it's a little bit stiff. But yeah, it's a good knife. If you all want to check this out, I would recommend it. Especially if you think the Penguin is a little bit smaller, this might be better. This might be right what you need. So that's all for this one. Let me know what you guys think. And please like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and have a great day. Bye.